Thanks everybody for coming. Thank Fish, Case and Kelly, as well as Shoevier's agent and Kiefer Ward. Coach Dahl will begin with an opening statement, and we'll open up for questions.
Just thanks for coming. Excited to finally be in game week and ready to get going, and brought two of our leaders on the group, two guys that are going to be key contributors for us. So I'm excited to like I said, get going and let these guys loose and let them play a little bit.
How's it different now than what you were here for?
It's different. There's things like this and a lot more people in my office than it used to be back in the day. But the baseball is the same. It's a lot of the kids that I got a chance to recruit, AJ being one of them, that before I left, we were talking on the phone. So I have good relationships with some of these kids, but it's different. We'll see after the first weekend and some of the differences of being a head coach and being in charge of all aspects of the game will be different, but I'm ready for it.
You obviously coached with Lindsay back at Chico State. And here, how are you like Lindsay, and how are you different from Lindsay?
Probably a little bit, obviously younger, so more on the player's coach version. But I learned a lot from Lindsay. I learned a lot. My first job with him at Chico State, I was 23. So there was actually 3 players on our team that were older than me. So I cut my teeth with him and learned a lot of leadership and discipline and how to manage a ball club from him. But we're different personalities completely. I'm probably a little more laxed, a little more of a player's coach, but a lot of the same baseball specific things that he was great at.
No, you guys got the college Worcesters in 18, haven't had winning season in the conference since then. What did happen? What do you have to do to get back to where you were at?
You know, I don't know specifically what happened in some of those years. I know in 19, my last year, we were a little banged up on the mound, and I think that was a key contributor. As far as 20, obviously being COVID in 21, they made a great run last year and had a chance to win that tournament. At the end, they were playing so well. So I think with this group being a little bit more of we're still a little bit young, but they've played a lot. They have a lot of games under their belt. That those wins and especially that hot streak at the end of last year is going to create a lot of momentum for us.
And you got I'm now the head coach and mom and dad, where you figured out that I got this now. Have you had any of those?
You know, I don't know if I've had that exact moment, but it's mostly off the field stuff with me that is like, oh, okay. You know, it's boosters and it's dinners and it's speaking arrangements and things like that I didn't do much of. But on the field, I'm spread a little bit more thin than I used to be. You know, I focus so much on the pitching for the last 20 years that I find myself stuck in there and then realizing, oh, shoot, I'm responsible for all of this. I should go watch what the infielders are doing. I should go watch what the outfielders are doing, go watch BP and make sure that those things are going well. So when we make out the lineup, we're putting the right people out there. So it spread me a little bit thinner, but it's a good thing.
Hard is it to play in March and February? It looks nice out there.
Yeah.
But
it's cold. And that's part of it. And our guys know that's, you know, if you want to play in the big leagues, it's cold in April in Chicago as well. And it's cold in October in Chicago as well. So it's part of it. We want to use it as an advantage for us. We want to bring teams in and have them be uncomfortable and us be completely comfortable in those conditions.
I'd like to ask the players, how are things different this year? And how much comes to give you guys have that nice rep in the season for this year?
Well, this year I'd say, just like JK said, like it's more lax. He's more of a player's coach. We love him. We love our guys. I feel like the chemistry and just the environment is so much more like we really want to be here. We want to play for these guys, and we want to do all those things.
Yeah, and I wasn't here last year, so I can't really speak to how different it is compared to last year, but I would say I think it's just a really, really good learning environment. You know, like at the start of the year, JK told us, like, just treat practice like it's Vegas, because, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So basically meaning feel free to make mistakes. That's kind of how you get better. So just creating that learning environment, that's something I've really liked about my experience so far.
And Jason said he recruited you when you were in high school. And maybe put through the load of the top process when Lindsay left and kind of in that limbo of not knowing what was your reaction when you found out?
Well, my reaction was like, yes, let's go. JK recruited me. Was really excited to hear that he got the job. Everyone else was super excited as well. All that stuff. Yeah.
What do the talent level of this team, Coach? How good can you guys be?
I think we can be good. We've got talent, and these guys are two of them that are going to be high draft picks and have a chance to play in the big leagues. So there's plenty of talent out there. It'll be like these guys have talked about. How do we play together? And can we stay healthy? All the cliches that every coach is going to say. But we've got professionals at a lot of positions. We're going to have professionals on the mound. So the talent's there. The last staff did a good job of recruiting and brought in good players. So there's no complaints on that end. So I think we can be top third of the conference, and if we stay healthy, I think we can challenge anybody.
Looks like you're going to be on the road for a couple of days. Is it a student athlete? You still got school responsibilities. Hard is it to be gone that?
Oh, well, it's not really that. It's not really too bad. We work with our academic advisor. We have study hall. That really helps because it makes us lock in for an hour or two a day, and I normally get all my stuff done, so it's really not that bad.
Keith, what about Washington? The tragedies come here, and how should the Leaf is at the competition I've seen so far? Carlton?
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's a huge change in talent level. In terms of why I wanted to come here, it was a little weird because I committed to the old staff, right? But I just knew, it was a good baseball program. I was going to have a good opportunity to probably get some innings and develop as a player. And also it's close to home. So that's kind of the main reasons why I decided to come here. But then it's also a little weird because of the coaching change and stuff.
Yeah. How's it now so far, though?
I think it's gone really well. I'm happy with, how I've done so far and my opportunities to develop. I feel like I've gotten better under JK. It's just been a great experience so far.
Can you just kind of break down this pitching staff for us? What are your strengths? What are your concerns? And, where do you see this now?
Yeah, I think we've got a really good combination of different types of pitchers. You look at Kiefer, and Kiefer's got that electric fastball, has been up to 99, and kind of sitting in that 96, 97 range with a good down curveball. And we've got Jared Engman, who's kind of the opposite of him, who's sinkers and sliders. Riley McAdams kind of fits in the same role as Engman. Flesland's left-handed with power stuff. Stu is. So we've got good guys at the back of the bullpen. Colton McIntosh is on his way back from Tommy John. And he threw, I think, 14 innings last year, struck out 21 guys and walked one. So we could be good at the end of the bullpen. Case Matter is coming back from an ankle injury. And he's got professional power stuff, been up to 97. And then we've got some young guys that are really talented. They're just inexperienced. So if those older guys, especially that core kind of 5 or 6 guys, can do a good job early in the game for us, and we can get those younger guys in and develop them. And it's a talented group and a really kind of sneaky competitive group. They're all really good kids, but they've proven so far that they're not afraid to get after some people and have some intensity and not afraid to kind of pitch in those big moments.
Pitch count guy, analytics guy, what's top?
Yeah, we're going to take care of them on the pitch count end of it. That's something that has changed in the last 10 or 15 years. That number, it depends on who you talk to. The science behind the actual number is like I said, it depends on which scientist you're listening from. But we won't go much past 100 with those guys. I don't think we need to. I think we're talented enough throughout the staff to keep them at a good number, keep them healthy. The goal is to go to Omaha, so we want to be playing into June. So we need to make good decisions early in the year, and I think we've got enough arms to be able to do that. But it's just going to depend on if those guys at the beginning of the rotation can kind of get us innings, Kiefer being one of them.
Kiefer was your pitch count.
I don't know. It just depends. Yeah, I mean, whatever JK wants.
Infinity.
And we'll be paying attention in different ways other than just the eye test. We'll be paying attention to movement plots, and we'll be paying attention to movement when it comes to some of the data, velocity, kind of gains. We have a good feel for what everybody is in kind of clusters of 15 pitches. So if they're getting to pitch 65, 75, if that velo starts to drop, then it's probably a good time to go get them. So we're going to be paying attention to everything.
We talked about, not meeting the goal. Is that a public goal to get a team?
That's not something that I personally talk about a lot. We're obviously the goal is to win the last game of the season, and that's the goal in any sport. We're talking more about 56 Super Bowls. We're going to play one game at a time, and as cliche as it is, but really focusing on one game at a time, one win at a time, responding from a loss. Kind of that 24-hour we'll be able to put it behind us. So not a whole lot of Omaha talk per se from the coaching staff, but more focused on one game at a time.
But that is that definitely that's Rendola?
I think so. I saw it with my own eyes on a team in 18 that this team may be more talented than, but that group really played hard and played well together. If this group now kind of develops that personality, then I don't see any reason why we couldn't be capable of that.
We were all in this. Maybe I just saw that headline, but these
We got new turf. Yeah, so they just redid all of the surface. So it was that turf was put in I think 13, 14. So it was time for new turf.
what's that like for you? I mean, you're out of it. I just
At first, it was like they played super slow. I feel like it still plays kind of slow, but it's really not too big of a difference. It's turf.
They say it takes 6 months or so for it to like really, because it's a sand rubber base. So for that sand to really settle and you get the true speed of the field, they say it takes almost a year sometimes. So we're seeing some slow ground balls in the infield right now, which is a good thing for me.
How important was that run into the season? Just for momentum coming into this year.
Oh, I believe this is incredibly important. We struggled towards the middle, and then we win, what was it, like 14 straight, something like that? 14. That really gave us, like, the knowledge, like, oh, we can do this. We can compete. We can play as a team. And we can, like I said, we can play with anybody.
So it's a different attitude this year starting the season than maybe last year?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. We're thinking that we can beat anybody. We can play with anybody, compete, anything, all that stuff.
Any other question?
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
See you guys out the ball market at some point.
Tell us something similar if you like. Kind of might be the Chico too.